I'm kind of done with prime lenses, and let me explain why. When you're trying to get as much content as possible, you don't need your equipment slowing you down. As the director Mark Toya so beautifully put it, speed and performance are what give me the creative edge. So let's put this to the side. For the longest period of time, I've been shooting with prime lenses. I had 50mm prime, 24, 35, 85, whatever, even 100mm macro. Now the beauty of the prime lenses are that fast aperture, so f1.4, f1.2, f1.8, which means you get beautiful blurry backgrounds as well as a lot of separation from your subject, i.e. a blurry background. And in general, they're smaller, cheaper, and sharper. And for the longest period of time, these were the things that I found most important. And that's why this 50mm from Sigma f1.4 was one of my favorite lenses of all time. And actually my favorite lens is the 24mm 1.4 from Sigma. Extremely contrasty, sharp, and just an overall beautiful lens. The more I shot, the more I came to the realization that all these lenses that I was collecting hindered my speed on set. Constantly having to change lens depending on the situation took up a lot of time, causing me to miss shots. Not to mention that with a bunch of prime lenses, it takes up a lot of space in your camera bag. So if you're traveling or if you're hiking or whatever it is, your back would be dying carrying all these primes. So I was scouring through YouTube and all, and I figured out, the 24-70, which is a lens that I've never really owned officially. I've had one for a short period of time, which was the EF version. The range was good, but it wasn't like super sharp, and to me the pictures just seemed very bland. They lacked that depth of field I was used to and the sharpness, and it just felt like a boring lens to use. I watched Matt Divella's video on this lens, and it convinced me to purchase it for a period of time to see if I actually wanted to keep it. And I have to say now, it is my favorite lens, and it is the only lens I will take on a shoot unless I need a vlog like this. Like, this is a different lens. This is the RF 15-35. It works great with the RF system, extremely sharp, fast autofocus, and 15mm is even wider than 16, and that's kind of cool. So without further ado, let's talk about the Canon Rf 24-70 f2.8. Now this lens isn't cheap, I'll give you that, but it's so sharp and versatile that let's go through it. So first thing we're gonna talk about obviously is the image quality. It's extremely sharp. Let me show you some sample photos and videos I've taken with it, and it is breathtaking, just crispy. It feels like a prime lens in terms of sharpness, and that's what I'm looking for in a zoom. I want a zoom lens that has that crispy image like a prime lens, and this definitely does. Paired with the Canon R5 with its 45 megapixels, this shows all sorts of imperfections and shows all sorts of perfections in an image, and I just love that crispy look. Definitely the sharpest lens that I own. Next thing, the autofocus, laser quick. Usually I found prime lenses autofocus faster than zooms because they don't have to have such a big system to focus at different focal lengths, but this thing is laser fast and I love it. Next thing I absolutely love about this lens, and this is something I've never had in a zoom, apart from the 15-35, is the fact that it's stabilized. Having a stabilized lens changes everything. I was already on the verge of never using a gimbal again, but having also a stabilized lens means everything I shoot is handheld. Another thing that's actually really sick is the control ring. Now you can map this out to whatever setting you want. I have it on shutter speed because that's usually what I would make slight adjustments to when changing the exposure as I'm taking pictures. So having it just right here on the barrel, you can just click it like that and satisfyingly change the shutter speed. Now the 24-70 zoom range is perfect for about everything. 24mm is wide enough that you could actually vlog with, like so like if I were to bring this to 24, this is 24mm hands length away, and this will work if you're vlogging or something like that. Like, it looks pretty good. Different than 15 obviously, but not that bad. And then you have 70mm, which is great for those portraits or more telephoto shots as you pass that 50mm. And you have everything in between, so 24, 35, 50, 70, whatever you can think of, anything in between, you have it all in one package. And that's very useful and very convenient. Another thing I absolutely love about this lens is the fact that it's the same size as the 15-35. So if you were to use a follow focus system or something, they are exactly the same footprint. So it feels like you have the same lens on the camera in terms of balance. In terms of weight, it's a bit heavy because it does feel like a big mug. Like, it feels like those, what do they have? Those Canon 24-105 mugs. But having the stabilization and this range all in one package is why it weighs that much. It has this little lock switch here that I never really use. It only locks at 24 mils, so I guess if you're putting it away and you don't want it to open up. Okay, you can just lock it at 24, but I've never really used that. But it's there if you need it. It has an 82mm filter thread, so again, the same size as the RF15-35, which is really convenient. I can easily just swap on and off ND filters, and that's great. Now, the price of this lens varies depending where you are in the world, where you're buying it. I'm currently in Italy, so it's different from what you would find in the US or France, where I used to live. So this is the American price. I'll actually have a link down below. It's an affiliate link on Amazon for the US. So long story short, what I'm saying is that this is a great purchase if you can afford it. If you can't, don't worry about it. You're not missing out on a ton of new features. It's still a 24-70, and if you have the EF version, that works perfectly fine. But if you can afford it, and this is a lens that you constantly use, this focal range, I might recommend this to you. It is so great. I have yet to use my favorite lens I own since I got this, just because it's not too different. And now that I saw that Lightroom has that AI depth of field map changer, which is ridiculous. So hopefully this video was helpful for you. I love this lens so much. It lives on my camera right now, unless again I'm making YouTube videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.